Scientific article on what a racing pigeon's body goes through during a 300-mile race. The physiological demands on racing pigeons during long-distance flights. The homing pigeon, Columba livia domestica, has been utilized by humans for centuries to carry messages over long distances. Selectively bred for their navigational abilities and endurance, these birds are able to fly hundreds of miles back to their home loft. Their use as racing pigeons developed in the 19th century as a competitive sport, testing the speed and stamina of different breeds. During a long-distance race of 300 miles or more, pigeons undergo intensive physiological challenges. This article will examine the key systems involved, including the cardiorespiratory system, musculoskeletal system, and metabolic demands. Oxygen delivery. To power sustained flight over multiple hours or days, racing pigeons have an efficient respiratory system to take in oxygen, O2, and expel carbon dioxide, CO2. Their lightweight, rigid skeleton and flight muscles maximize airflow and gas exchange. Racing pigeons have proportionately larger hearts and lungs compared to similar-sized birds. The avian respiratory system has unidirectional flow through the lungs on both inspiration and expiration. This maintains higher air pressures and improves oxygen diffusion into the bloodstream. As air flows through the endotracheal tubes, it passes through a system of air sacs that surround the lungs and penetrate many of the bones. All of the air sacs connect to the lungs, forming an open respiratory system that moves air continuously during the entire breathing cycle. This system enhances oxygen delivery during flight. The complete exhalation and inhalation of fresh air with each breath allows for maximal gas exchange. In addition, the air sacs acting as bellows move air through the avian lung, which lacks a diaphragm. The parabronchi in the rigid, tubular lungs provide an extensive surface area for oxygen to diffuse into the surrounding capillaries. The pulmonary capillary blood is then pumped to tissues by the high-output heart. Racing pigeons have large hearts relative to their body mass, constituting up to 3% of their weight. The avian cardiovascular system also includes adaptations to meet the metabolic demands of flight. For example, pigeons have high hematocrit levels averaging 50 to 60%, increasing their blood's oxygen carrying capacity. The blood has greater unloading capabilities compared to many mammals due to the oval shape of their erythrocytes. The binding affinity of avian hemoglobin helps maintain saturation levels during periods of hyperventilation. In addition, myoglobin stored in their flight muscles facilitates oxygen diffusion. All of these respiratory and cardiovascular adaptations allow racing pigeons to effectively take up, transport, and store oxygen during sustained aerobic activity. Musculoskeletal demands. The muscular and skeletal systems of racing pigeons are specialized for powerful, enduring flight. Selective breeding has enhanced their cardiovascular and metabolic capacity to support the energy demands of their flight muscles. The major muscles involved in flapping flight are the pectoralis and supracoracoideus, which make up 25 to 27% of a pigeon's body mass. These large pectoral muscles power the downstroke and are supplemented by other muscles controlling wing positioning. The proportionately short and rigid wings enable rapid wing beats while minimizing drag. Skeletal adaptations contribute to flight efficiency. The lightweight skeleton constitutes only 4% of their total body mass. Pneumatization of the bones by the air sacs saves additional weight while maintaining rigidity. Flight muscles are able to exert full force due to anchoring onto thick bony tendon pulleys. At the same time, the skeleton must withstand the mechanical forces and stresses of flapping flight. Their compact, fused carina, where the clavicles join, provides structural reinforcement for the wing motions. The short tails with only 6 to 8 tail feathers reduce drag. Overall, the strong musculoskeletal foundation gives racing pigeons both the propulsion and structural mechanics needed for racing performance. Metabolic demands. Racing 300 miles burns a massive amount of energy. Pigeons primarily rely on carbohydrates and fat as aerobic fuel during sustained flights. As athletes, racing pigeons demand high metabolic inputs and efficient energy delivery pathways. Because blood glucose is limited, they utilize fat storage with fatty acids liberated from adipose tissue. Along with glucose from glycogen breakdown, the free fatty acids are used to power oxidative metabolism and generate ATP. The byproducts of ATP generation, including lactate, are closely regulated to prevent fatigue during long flights. Pigeons prepare for race day by carbo-loading. They increase carbohydrates stored as glycogen in the muscles. However, since glycogen stores are minimal compared to mammalian athletes, fat catabolism is crucial. This depends on adipose tissue lipid mobilization. Insulin regulation helps direct glucose delivery to the intensively working flight muscles. The corresponding increase in muscle blood flow during flight ensures oxygen and nutrient supply. Pigeons also demonstrate metabolic adaptations such as increased mitochondrial density in the flight muscles. Their oxidative muscle fibers are geared for endurance. The capillary density surrounding the muscle fibers allows for maximum oxygen and energy substrate diffusion. Energy metabolism pathways maximize ATP generation from the available fuel sources, both glucose and fatty acids. The result is the superb aerobic capacity that gives pigeons the stamina to race hundreds of miles. Thermoregulation. Racing puts pigeons through extreme physical exertion. The muscular work from flapping flight generates excess heat that must be dissipated to avoid hyperthermia. Pigeons maintain a high body temperature around 41 degrees Celsius. Evaporative cooling becomes crucial during racing in hot weather. Hyperventilation raises respiratory evaporation. Blood flow increases to the unfeathered areas of skin, allowing heat loss by radiation and convection. The blood vessels in the nasal passages allow for heat exchange as the bird pants. Pigeons also adjust their flying posture to thermoregulate. For example, extending their wings exposes the thinly feathered undersides for increased heat loss during hot flights. Tilting the body to present one wing to the sunlight can help increase convective heat loss. In addition, the engineers of Formulas 1 Racing have incorporated evaporative cooling jackets into pigeon racewear to improve temperature regulation. Careful monitoring of weight loss ensures the birds do not become dehydrated during long races in the heat. Navigation. One of the most remarkable physiological adaptations of racing pigeons is their navigation ability over hundreds of miles. Researchers believe pigeons orient themselves using the sun, Earth's magnetic field, and mental maps memorized during initial journeys. Their eyes may detect magnetic signals, while the trigeminal nerve connecting to the inner ear contains iron deposits for sensing magnetic shifts during flight. Their hierarchical mental maps can track position relative to landmarks and multisensory cues. When racing up to 300 miles, pigeons likely navigate using familiar visual cues that they have previously imprinted on. However, on long-distance flights beyond their experience, navigation depends more on solar and magnetic senses. Their circadian clocks sync to local time, allowing for time-compensated sun compass orientation. Pigeons recalibrate direction using magnetic field detection in the trigeminal system. The integrated feedback from visual, magnetic, proprioceptive, and circadian inputs enables racing pigeons to find their way home over extreme distances. Conclusion. Racing 300 miles in a single flight places intense physiological demands on pigeons. The metabolic costs of flapping flight require adaptations such as high oxygen carrying capacity, lipid catabolism, heat dissipation mechanisms, and specialized muscles with oxidative fibers. Pigeons prepare through training and strategic nutrition to build endurance. Motivation and competitive instinct give them the drive to push through fatigue and environmental stressors. Their navigational systems allow pigeons to maintain heading and return to the home loft. The unique physiology of racing pigeons makes these birds capable of amazing athletic feats. Understandably, humans have long exploited their endurance, speed, and homing ability. However, responsible usage and humane treatment is necessary to ensure the welfare of these remarkable athletes of the avian world. I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye-sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top-quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye-sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me. A comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeon's drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with. While I can provide guidance, it's essential to start with pigeons of good genetic quality. Guidance on feeding schedules and methods, tailored from Sunday to Saturday, to optimize your pigeon's performance. The understanding that there are no big secrets or magical products that guarantee success in pigeon racing. Instead, success hinges on developing a racing system that suits your loft and pigeons. I'm committed to providing full support even after you receive this information, as I want to see you succeed in pigeon racing. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need further assistance. Remember, the key to winning in pigeon racing lies in knowledge, dedication, and continuous improvement.